Hello, this is Molly Remer, and welcome to this week's Rituals of Returning video, where we are exploring a buffet of Lakshmi Oracle cards as October starts to draw to a close. We've still got some time left in October, but as October draws to a close, I'd like to take a little bit of a deeper look at Lakshmi, who's our goddess of the month for this month. So I am choosing from an assortment of cards. I'm actually working on our goddesses of the year for 2026. And I went through all my decks recently and actually pulled out the relevant cards and put them all in little envelopes together. And that has been really fun to do. So I didn't do that this year. I just had to go sort through them. And then I realized that I was spending an awful lot of time sorting through the same deck, looking for specific cards, and I could do it in advance. So anyway, here's the Lakshmi buffet. We're actually going to start with this card from the Divine Feminine Oracle by Megan Watterson. I often forget that I have this deck for some reason. So there's other goddesses of the month that we've explored this year who actually had cards in this deck, and I just forgot that I had it and didn't end up drawing upon it. So I'd like to go ahead and start with this one today. And so in all decks pretty much, Lakshmi's the goddess of abundance. And the affirmations that she includes here are: I choose to feel abundant. I choose to feel abundant. Wealth is an inside job. So I will acknowledge, there's a certain amount of privilege there to saying wealth is an inside job, especially in the current climate. A lot of us are feeling a little pinched and tight, and like scarcity is not just a mental state, but actually a physical reality. So wealth is an inside job, and also remembering that, it's easy to say things like that when you are actually comfortable and coming from a place of comfort. And when you are not, when you are in a place of being tight and pinched, it's a lot harder to say wealth is an inside job, because yes, money can't buy happiness, but money certainly can make things easier. So acknowledging that at the same time as sharing these affirmations: wealth is an inside job, and I choose to feel abundant. And as we spoke in the last video, enough is an abundance. Enough is an abundance. So this is really a perfect time of year to consider what is enough for you, and the ways in which you are wealthy, and that you do have wealth from within, whether that's spiritual wealth or relational wealth, or perhaps a wealth of time. I wish for us all a wealth of time, a wealth of joy, a wealth of creativity and inspiration. And for all those things, really, actual money can also be useful. So anyway, acknowledging both of those realities in one, the metaphorical, the symbolic, and the literal. So going back to consult the little guidebook that goes with this deck, Lakshmi personifies the splendor and affluence that arrives when we align our action with what the soul desires. So an affirmation could be: I align my actions with what my soul desires. I align my actions with what my soul desires. But and really stepping into harmony, stepping into alignment, really is, talk about wealth being an inside job. Stepping into alignment, stepping into harmony is an inside job, and it also is an ongoing work in progress. Reverence for the Hindu goddess Lakshmi dates back to the first millennium BCE. She's known as the goddess of wealth, fortune, and prosperity. Her name is derived from the Sanskrit roots laks and laksa, meaning to know, understand, or to have a goal. To know, understand, or to have a goal. She is the wife of the Hindu god Vishnu and has many festivals that are celebrated in her honor. In the ancient Indic epic, the Ramayana, Lakshmi is said to have miraculously spun from the foam of an ocean of milk churned by the gods. So you can see a relationship here to Aphrodite, who also sprang from the ocean on a clamshell. Or an oyster shell, clamshell for her. So sprang from the foam of an ocean of milk. So she's sometimes associated with cows because of that. Lakshmi is often pictured in her iconography holding the lotus. This is symbolic of the fact that great beauty arises from the dark richness of the earth under any circumstances. All that's needed is the auspicious or divine timing for the lotus to come into to bloom. Her essence then is about understanding the goal in life, to realize the abundance of the soul, to realize the abundance of the soul. So she goes on to say that abundance looks different to each of us. Some people have incalculable material wealth but are bereft of a sense of purpose or a greater vision for their life and are left feeling lost, while others are considered poor in financial wealth but walk around radiating love and the kind of light that has an inestimable worth. Lakshmi is the auspiciousness that begins to bloom in our life when we align our every action with the work our soul has come here to do. So another affirmation could be, I align my actions with the work my soul has come here to do. Lakshmi reminds us the ultimate goal is not about making money, but being able to know our true bliss. What makes us feel lit up like a glow stick while we're doing it? What work doesn't feel like work at all? Lakshmi is a wink to find that vocation, that bliss, so that what is within us comes into full bloom through something we can do and show the world. Lakshmi represents both the gold we can hold in our hands and the gold we can become by doing work that feeds our soul. She's the reminder that true abundance doesn't come from our bank statement. It comes from a state of mind we enter when we know we are contributing great worth to the world in an effort of becoming more love. So another affirmation could be, I do work that feeds my soul. I celebrate true abundance. Also, I just these things keep striking me when I know that people are definitely in financial crisis lately. And so anyway, I will say that abundance doesn't come from the bank account or bank statement, but certainly a feeling like you have enough in the bank also helps support you in choosing those things that help you align with your soul. So I want to acknowledge, both realities, the spiritual attitude towards abundance, but also the practical reality that yes, actually having enough in the bank matters. And if you're constantly worried about money, it can make it be hard to focus on matters of the soul or matters of the spirit. Okay, so we're actually going to hop on over to this Lakshmi card now from the Goddess Guidance Oracle. This is the one by Doreen Virtue that I've mentioned several times before. This used to be one of my favorite decks. I use it all the time. Doreen had kind of a change of heart about some of her decks and sort of renounced some of her past work, so I stopped using it for a while for that reason. And I've started to use it again this year because there's some good cards in there, and it was, but anyway, people have mixed feelings about continuing to use this deck, so wanting to make sure to acknowledge that. So here, Lakshmi, it's symbolic of our bright future, and she's got little elephants in the background. My mom really likes elephants, so I noticed them. Bright future. And then a little message from her, stop worrying. Everything is going to be fine. So another affirmation might be, I allow myself to stop worrying. I allow myself to stop worrying. Everything is going to be fine. And so she goes on to say, this is a kind universe, and everyone within it is working in your favor. There are no tests, blocks, or obstacles in your path, except your own projections. Take a moment and hush your mind, quieting it from worries and fears. Feel me brush your brow with a new energy of faith, hope, and optimism. These energies fuel your exciting present time as well as all future moments. Light shines all around you. Step into this brightness by lightening your thoughts and feelings. You must stop worrying as this anxiety squelches the goodness that seeks to find you. Clear your heart of fear and replace those energies with satisfaction, with contentment. And so she says that some messages here are, you and your loved ones will be protected and provided for. Let go of fear about your future. Hold positive thoughts and intentions. Know that you will have your needs met. Visualize abundance. Visualize abundance. Lakshmi's connection to lotus flowers, elephants, and water represents her absolute faith in the abundance that's available to everyone. She is happy to bring anything to you, whether that means money, time, knowledge, or opportunity. Lakshmi works with Ganesh, the elephant-headed deity who's known as the overcomer of obstacles. Together, they are an unstoppable team that works to help you release fear and accept abundance. Did I already say that affirmation? I release fear and accept abundance. I release fear and accept abundance. And then we're going to go ahead and check in with this card, which is from the Goddess Inspiration Oracle Guide by Chris Walter. And so here, again, we have welcome wealth in all its forms. Welcome wealth in all its forms. So yes, may we be wealthy. May we be wealthy with time and money and energy and health. May we all be wealthy with goodness. So just this book is very brief in its summaries. And so what it says, she's associated with wealth, beauty, and luck, as we already know. Lakshmi's treasured in India as the goddess of wealth and beauty. It is believed that all who look upon Lakshmi know instant happiness. Creating prosperity can be creative as act as any artistic endeavor. Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance, shows us that wealth can be divinely inspired. As a sacred manifestation of all forms of prosperity, she is perhaps the most popular of the Hindu gods and goddesses. She's often depicted upon coins as bright as the fortune she offers. She's believed to be attracted to sparkling jewels, which are like the riches she bestows. And so, yes, the message here is welcome wealth in all its forms. So a question to consider this month might be, in which ways are you wealthy? What wealth do you experience in all its forms? What wealth do you experience in all its forms? How are you wealthy? And now we're going to go over to the last card. This one is from the Mother's Wisdom deck, which, as I mentioned before, is out of print. But I think somebody commented on my last video and said that it's been re-released in a different form, so I'll try to investigate that and find out what they said. But anyway, the Lakshmi card from the Mother's Wisdom deck, it's this book. And so we're going to close with that exploration of the card here. Again, abundance. The shadow, the Mother's Wisdom deck includes shadow. So the shadow here is scarcity. And then there's a little quote that they begin at the beginning from Ganjaji. I'm saying that wrong. Anyway, the treasure that I invite you to receive is in your pocket right now, the pocket of your heart. So I like that one. So I receive what's in the pocket of my heart could be an affirmation. I receive what's in the pocket of my heart. The card of generosity, karma, and gifts, Lakshmi indicates that the angels of fortune hover around you, waiting to bestow their boons. Embrace them by sharing freely what you already have. So I think that's a good way to look at abundance too, and that could be an affirmation, is I share what I already have. I share what I already have. How might you be generous? And that's one of those things that, and I find that in myself, like when I feel that pinch of scarcity, that pinch of uncertainty, sometimes, or when I get a request for a donation and I feel that, how could they ask me for money? Don't they know that I've got, that I have all these things to take care of? Sometimes I let that be an invitation to let it pinch a little and give anyway. And so I have actually, I tightened the purse strings, so to speak, last year, and I cut back on a lot of my charitable giving to kind of anything, because I felt like, oh my gosh, there's not enough. And this year I loosened that up, and I have do all kinds of recurrent donations. They're not huge recurrent donations. One of them is only $5 a month. Another one's only $10 a month. Another one's only $25 a month. But what I did is to loosen that shadow of scarcity and to share more freely what I have to give, is I just set things up as recurrent donations. And so I make all kinds of monthly donations that are in small amounts, but I donate to pretty much everything that I care about in some small way, even NPR, and I think NPR I did $5 a month too. And then there's a local charity that's organized to help immigrants who have been wrongfully detained, and so I donate $25 a month to them because it's right there in my own local community. I donate $5 a month to my sister's LGBTQ Rala Resource Center, and I donate to a political action committee, and I donate to Doctors Without Borders, and each one is a small thing, but I decided to loosen up instead of feeling like there isn't enough, to go ahead and give what I have. And so the message there is that you must empty. This is interesting. You must empty your cup in order for it to be refilled. So people say you can't give from an empty cup. You can't pour from an empty cup, but you also can't put anything else in your cup if it's already full. So that's important to consider too. Lakshmi rests on a blooming lotus flower, the symbol of transcendence, and her four hands symbolize the four aims of human life: righteousness, pleasure, wealth, and liberation. The goddess of abundance says that when you follow your purpose, contentment will follow. So another affirmation could be, I follow my purpose and contentment follows. So give reverence to Lakshmi with gold coins streaming out of her hands, for she's the goddess of prosperity. She teaches you that while you don't need material wealth to feel rich, you can consciously choose to live a life of generosity. If you blame the world for withholding treasure from you, try turning that thought around. What are you withholding from the world? If you believe people are not giving you kudos, give kudos to them. As counterintuitive as it may seem, abundance comes to those who are generous. You can't get what you don't give. And so that is important to consider too. as well as recommending that the gift of your own presence and the gift of your time is very valuable and often is the thing people actually appreciate most about you, not your money. Really those, perhaps that actually, I've worked in charity organizations and they actually do really benefit from your money. I was going to say maybe that the local immigrant support organization, maybe they could use my time more than my $25. But actually, I've worked in domestic violence shelters and in substance abuse treatment centers and at the Ronald McDonald House and actually, we could always use cash. It's true. As a nonprofit, you can always use cash. Okay, so sorry for that little aside. Don't be fooled into thinking that abundance equals excess. Think downsize, not supersize. Abundance is the realization that what you have is enough. Enough is an abundance, as I said before. Rather than obsessing on attracting more for yourself, think about what you can give away. Think about what you can give away. So a question to consider this month is, what can I give away? It could be attention, it could be support, it could be goodwill, it could be love, it could be compliments, it could be positive words, it could be notes of affirmation, it could be money. When you give, does it make you feel like you have less or more? Can you give more than you take? So to attract abundance, follow the counsel of the Vedas. Don't obstruct the flow of wealth. Neither hoard nor plunder. Neither hoard nor plunder. Know that what must happen will happen, and what is yours will come to you. Blessings are always dropping their blossoms on you. Blessings are always dropping their blossoms on you. So this week, this month, may you rest in the knowing that enough is in abundance. May you follow your purpose. May you seek opportunities to contribute, give, and share. And may you allow those blessings to drop their blossoms upon you. Thank you so much for being here. Keep living your magic, everybody. Bye-bye.